Hello friends, welcome back. Today we'll talk about emotional center. Please know that there are a total of 9 centers. We can call the centers chakras, however there are a total of 7 chakras, even though yogis believe that there are 8, because one is above your head, but only less than 1% achieve the experience of that chakra. So they're hardly mentioning it because it's so rare. But here we are, and we're distinguishing today 9 centers because there are 9 centers in human design. And human design explains that we used to have 7 chakras in the past, but we are evolving. Now we have 9 chakras or 9 centers. We'll study this emotional center today, which is the right triangle on the graph, and I will start our centers again today from the emotional center, because this center is responsible for your conscious aware of your future. Ra Uru Hu, the founder of the human design, said that people who will be born after 2027 will be born with the activation of that center. Now kids and adults who have the center as an authority, not using it the way it's designed. We'll talk about it shortly. What's important to know right now is that some of us have authority centers, which are colored, and some do not. If you have the center colored, that means it is your inner authority. And this is your authority, emotional center. And this is one of the strongest center there is. How to know if you have this strong inner authority, which is emotional center? You look at your body graph. If it's white center means it's undefined center. Then you look at the next center, which is the sacral center. If you have a sacral center is white, then you look at the left triangle, which is your spleen center or intuitional center. If the spleen center is white, then you look at the right square, which is a heart, ego, G center, and then you look at the throat center. But if you have a throat center colored, you must know that throat center is not an authority center like others, and centers above the throat cannot be authorities at all. And our mental center, which is called Ajna, and this is very important for you to understand, that only in human design it teaches and showing us that the head Ajna center cannot be authority at all. Here all the Eastern teachings and Middle Eastern religious and spiritual philosophy are in harmony together, in sync, like human design, letting us know that our head is not meant for us to rely on and trust it, because it's not authority and it's not meant to be an authority. We will start our studies with emotional center. Again, because it's a very bright and very powerful center, because this center is your authority, which is if it's colored. If it's white, it's not your authority center. And there is 50% of people with authorized emotional center and 50% that have the center white, which is not that. It's not their authority center. If you have the center white color, which is not the color, which means it's not your authority center, please know that this will be authority center for everyone in 2027. This center is the center of consciousness. Using this center, we'll be making decision. In 15 years, we will know if this is the case. Kids that will be born after 2027 will have this as an authority center. They will rely on this emotional intellect, but what can we do now? Because we're not born in 2027. We won't be able to change our mind or our body. What can we do? There are interesting points here. First, if we have the center colored, then you have this natural authority, which is this center, but doesn't it make you happy? Do you make all your decisions consciously? Not always. If you have the center clear white, which is undefined, does this make you happy? Not either. Otherwise, we would have half of the society enlightened and awakened and half not. The most important aspect here is to reject an emotional roller coaster and not make decisions based on the influence of emotions. Again, right now we live from the center Ajna, which is the center in our head, which is based on the human design philosophy and science, cannot be authority. But we're all living through the center. which is again our head. But for now, we're all living again through our head, which means we're all lost and all confused people. Congratulations. And just accept that we all have this defect, and we can smile about it and joke about it. We're trying to solve all our problems only through our mind. So let's talk now how people with this emotional clear center can get along with people with the emotional center, because only people with emotionally color center can live fully with their emotions and feelings. For people with color triangle emotional center, it's like living with electrical station or atomic station and feelings, because what can we be better than living through feeling of joy, fun, excitement, falling in love, experiencing passion, and we love to swim in those feelings. And only emotionally centered people with this center can give you those strong feelings. Only through these people you experience these real deep feelings and absorbing it like a delicious pina colada. You feel here and now alive, and it feels as if life is touching you and making you feel blissful. But this emotional center has two sides to it, almost like any books and movies. You're experiencing roller coaster up or down. Emotional center has waves going again up or down. The higher it goes up, the lower it will go down, and it has this huge impact on the partner and relationship, or a parent or a child. When your wave goes down, obviously you will take people down with you. If the person has a difficult upbringing and has been taught to express his or her emotions and suppress them, this is one category of people. Or the second category, that abrupt like volcano with all of their emotions and burn everything and everyone around. So think of it, all of these negative feelings of anger, jealousy, fear, guilt, shame, rage, sadness, blame, depression, and they don't just express it. It feels as if they transfer it all in you, and you are swallowing it all. And he or she will express how much they cannot stand you, hate you. And if you have clear emotional center, you don't even need an emotional person with this color center to tell you anything, because you're already absorbing all this hate, frustration, rage, fear, guilt, shame, all of it. You're fully feeling it and experiencing like your partner who is next to you with this emotional center. First rule, you must leave this person with an emotional center if you have a clear center. And when they go through this roller coasters, leave them alone. Don't allow yourself to feel guilty for their emotional wreck. You're not responsible for their feelings. Don't take his or her rage, fear, blame, frustration as if it's your fault and that's you're responsible for it. This is their period to study how this emotional center translates their burst onto others, including you. So what can you do? While they're going through this downhill, no, it's not my fault. Even if your partner or parent or child will end up on deserting island, please know that they will express this rage and they will find somebody to blame, maybe waves, maybe island, maybe an animal, because that's their nature. You must just know when your emotional partner goes through this down spiral of emotions that you are dealing with the dragon, with the fire, and you are the little human with the basketball next to him or her, and your ball would shut him off, and every ball that you're throwing and shooting at him will set him off to another blast of fire. So by you being next to him or her, you will just get them more and more fire and flame. So how to avoid it? This is the most critical part of it. Let's talk about it now. If you're living again with the person who has this emotional center, you must learn to predict his low waves and their emotional roller coaster. Predicting when his changes goes plus or minus. Some people have it every week, and some have it once a month, and some go through transitions gently. You should learn at least a few minutes before the outburst that your emotional partner is going down the hill. When you have an open, clear center, you have a strong connection with your emotional partner, even in a distance. Your husband comes through the door and you are in the kitchen, but you already feel their mood and feelings he or she is carrying without even seeing him or her. Before you could take it all in, but now you're putting the space where you know it's not your fault, and you learn to predict his or her emotional outburst. And you are with the social condition through all of our social media and society. To share our happy life means you have to be happy and positive 24/7. But this is not real and this is not possible. Emotional person with the center will never have 365 days and 24/7 happy and joyful mood. It's not possible. And this low wave, it's not a shortcoming. It's not a default or damage in this person. It is a very important process in a person's life. This period of sadness, depression, frustration, and even rage is his or her experience to digest negative experiences, feelings, thoughts, and these feelings allow a person to get the insights, breakthroughs, transformation, and even enlightenment. But if this person just throws up these negative emotions on those close people around him or her, they're not going to experience this transformation or enlightenment. Only through my emotional roller coaster or deep confusion, fear, and pain and anger toward the government during the COVID in 2020, I was able to quit my job and experience my enlightenment and awakening process. So teach yourself and your partner, if you have this emotional center, to go through the list and to learn when do they go through these mood swings, because they go through these periods of dragon rage or severe depression, and how you can best interact with him or her. But if you have 1222 channel, meaning the throat connected to your emotional center, it's best not to interact with him or her and leave them to be alone. We'll talk about the channels next week. To be alone in the park for a few hours or in a room for 45 minutes and give them this warning that you need to be alone, or give them the warning that you're gonna leave him alone right now. It is very ecologically healthy for both you and your partner. Second point, if your emotional partner who also has this root center that is connected to emotional center, he or she is capable of almost jumping on you with rage and become like tornado. In this case, with this sense of humor, get a cheap plate in a $1 store and allow your partner to break the plates in the kitchen or in the garage to release their burst of fire and anger and rage. And your emotional partner goes to his low stage, you can calmly, fully aware that it has nothing to do with you. Bring on these 20 plates and smile and let him or her break it. An emotional partner must learn to filter his or her emotions and understand it's not your fault and not to blame you. But it will take some time to learn, so don't expect immediate results. But practice it, and practice will make it better. And with your guidance and conscious awareness and education, your emotional partner will begin to experiencing this outburst slightly lighter each time, and he will be grateful for you not to take it personally. And he or she will learn what they need during the low wave. Please know that if you're living with this emotional partner, parent or child, that you have to, please hear me out, you have to give him or her this freedom to experience the low wave, because you might be triggering him or her by telling him, when will we go to vacation? We have been on vacation only last year. Come on, you gotta take me to vacation. And why you came 2 hours late and you didn't even call me? Why you didn't do the homework? Or why you didn't take the medicine or vitamins? And your emotional partner builds up emotions one by week, second, third, fourth week, and then he or she outbursts. And for that, I love one exercise that helps tremendously an emotional partner, and I love doing it. Exercise called a Wheel of Harmonious Life. If your partner has emotional center that is colored, that means you must become a brakes like in a car to your emotional partner. How can we do it? Number one, please give your emotional partner time to make a decision and give him or her right to make a decision. Buying a home, a car, a salespeople will put him or her through 5, 7, or even 12 stages of sales. An emotional person doesn't function like this. He needs time, maybe 3 days, maybe 7 days, and maybe even 10 days to make the best decision. They need this respect. Taking their time is the highest form of value and appreciation in how they function. And your partner will be so grateful that you're giving him or her time to make a decision. Even if this salesperson is pressuring you that only today you can get this car and get $5,000 discount and 3.2 interest rate to get a house, give your partner time to decide, or give yourself time to decide. Emotional partner always know where and when they need to purchase or get it, but they need time. Don't rush him or her. Learn to say to your friends and relatives that we need time a little bit before we will tell you if we're going to make it to the birthday party or not. Don't rush to say yes. It is very important to a person with the emotional center to take time. For your friends and family, it might be very difficult to accept it, but stop trying to please them. And we are usually the ones who trigger again emotional partners because we just don't know what triggers them and what sets them off, because we're just not aware of their settings, because we're trying to adjust them to societal measures and norms. Give them room and space to live through their emotions. Give them this room to be very certain what they want and when and how. And they always make the best decisions. In the low wave, they are more capable of doing and accomplishing the home tasks, cleaning house, doing their routines. It is easy, and there is no need to think about mental things. And they are in this meditative state, melancholic state, where they get their insights and aha moments. For women, doing laundry and mopping the floors. For men, maybe it's vacuuming or fixing the shelves or whatever that is calling them. Low wave, again, can last a few minutes or a few days. A person with this emotional center must learn to observe and study their cycle. Or if you have a partner like this, you can learn their highs and their low waves. People with this emotional color center are not good in constructive communication in society. During their waves, they look like people who are flipped upside down. And so they are so vulnerable in their low waves of emotions. And anything during this stage can trigger them and hurt them deeply. During this period, people with emotional center should avoid meeting and can stay in their space and no interactions if they need it. When a generator with emotional center comes to work environment or community, everyone can feel and read their emotional state. And you have to learn to adjust your schedule so you don't feel like you have to go to work or to the meeting or to do the networking. Allow yourself to do things online through emails instead of person during your low waves. In the beginning, they struggle a lot to observe and to retrain themselves to decline or postpone things. But with time, it gets easier, my friends. But please know that for emotional center to get on this consciousness level of not allowing their feelings to control them is not easy. Don't try to pressure emotional people to go anywhere with you if they don't want to. Please know that if you will make them, that they will abrupt sooner or later, next week or next month, remembering that you pressure them to go somewhere. For example, you promised me to go for a month, that will go to Florida or to vacation, but now you're changing your mind. This is the pressure and manipulation. Protect your emotional partners, kids, and parents, and know, thanks to them, you will live through so many emotions and feelings, and they have been given to you because you need it.